Looks like Dr. Trey is going to have to school the collective gaming internet community once again. The details of the Wii U technical specs are starting to leak out, and as usual, you got people out there slamming them already, talking about how it's going to be outdated before it comes out and all of this nonsense. The popular discussion here is that as soon as the next Xbox 720 or the PS4 comes out, that the Wii U is going to be in the same situation as the Wii, and developers aren't going to make games for it because they're going to say it's not powerful enough and blah blah blah. The problem with this is it's completely wrong. It's not going to be, now those systems being more powerful than the Wii U is probably pretty much a given, but for it being the difference between the 360 and PS3 to the Wii in terms of processing power is retarded. Okay, first of all, everything about the Wii's CPU and GPU known to date tell us that, one, the CPU, which is a Power 7, is based on a chip that released last year. Two, everything about the GPU says that it's based on a chip that was released no longer than 2008. The Wii's CPU and GPU are based on chips from 1998. 1998. And what's crazy about that is if those chips had some kind of shader support similar to the 3DS, the difference still wouldn't have been that big, as big. If Nintendo can still have good looking games on a system in 2010 and 2011 with chips based on 1998 designs, I think they'll be okay coming in with a system in 2012 with the CPU from 2010 that's modified and a chip from a graphics chip from 2008 or 2009 that's modified just a couple years later. I think they'll be okay. And people tend to forget that when the PS3 came out, Sony's NVIDIA chip was based on an old graphics chip that they actually downscaled to put in the PS3. So the 360 and PS3 were not top of the line. They did not have top of the line graphics and CPUs compared to PCs when they launched, period. And the reason for that is because consoles don't need to have high-end PC graphics chip or CPUs because they don't have this. They're not operating under the same kind of environment as a PC does. They don't have to be running as many tasks, many operating systems as a PC. And oh well, I have this chip and it's pretty decent, but I don't think it'll be good enough for Wii U. Okay, you can't compare the PC, how the chip works on your PC to a gaming console. You think you can run Wii games on a normal 700 megahertz PC? No, you can't, because it doesn't work like that, people. There's a lot of people thinking that the PS3 and Xbox 720 or whatever they end up being called is just gonna blow away the Wii U in graphics. It's not. The only way they can come out with systems that blow Wii U away graphically, they're gonna have to price it in the 600, 700 PS3 launch territory, and they're not gonna do that. What we're gonna have here is PS2 situation. PS2 had the less detailed graphics. Then you had GameCube and Xbox. Now, what Nintendo's aiming for and why they're launching so early is because they want a PS2 like system. They want to become the developer system, and launching this early and doing the negotiations that they're doing now is the next step to having them be there. Now, the power gap between the Wii, the 360, and PS3 was huge, but part of that had to do with lack of shaders. Now, these next systems, they're not going to be, I mean, you might want to believe this if you want, but it's not going to happen. Their systems aren't going to be that big of a difference in power, unless those new systems aren't coming out until 2014, 2015 or later. The power gap's not going to be that big, and especially since they see all the third parties clamoring for support for Wii U. They're probably going to try to launch their systems in 2013, meaning there's not going to be that big of a difference in power unless they're going for a pretty high price point, which I doubt. Regarding power, both the Xbox and 360, both the Xbox and the GameCube were a lot more powerful than PS2. Yet, there's still actually a lot of retards out there that honestly believe that the PS2 was more powerful than the GameCube. When all was said and done, the power really didn't matter because everybody designed their games for PS2 first and ported over to GameCube and ported over to Xbox. The games looked marginally better on the GameCube, marginally better on the Xbox for the most part. So that's what Nintendo is aiming for. That's why they're kissing the third parties' butts right now, and publishers' butts right now. That's why they're coming out a year to 2 years early, because they want to become the developer system. If they become the lead platform, they're going to make all their games for the next generation. They're going to make all their games for Wii U first and then port it to the next systems with slight enhancements in graphics. But the problem is, your average Joe probably won't even notice those enhancements, just like the average Joe thinks that the PS2 is as powerful or more powerful than the GameCube. So, yeah, just something to think about, people. Yeah.